You build a personal brand or you do UGC. If you learn how to create engaging videos, poverty will chase you, but you will always be faster. Number 2, video editing. The demand is insane right now, but only if you're actually good. So don't just learn the basics. Learn about pacing, sound design, storytelling. Anybody can just put a couple clips together, but not everybody can make something worth watching. Number 3, motion graphics. This is one thing that I really wish I did. And similar with video editing, actually get good. Clean and premium animations will get you paid every single time. Number 4, coding. Not to get a job, but to be able to build things. Apps, tools, and websites. The barrier to entry has never been lower, but that also means it's never been harder to stand out. So if you're gonna go this route, you're going to need distribution. If you're not sure how to get distribution, make sure you're following because I talk about it all the time. Number 5, design. With vibe coding, everybody's apps and websites look the same, and that's where you come in. Learn how to use Figma, Framer, or Webflow to create beautiful designs, and you will never run out of work. And the biggest cheat code is actually stacking 2 or 3 of these skills together to become a perfect one-man business.
I see everywhere. People step into a side hustle and first thought is, how much money can I make? And that mindset kills them before they even start. The focus should never be on the money at the beginning. The focus should be, how can I learn this skill so deeply and so consistently that I end up better at it? Because here's the truth, money doesn't lead, skill does. Money always follows value, and the value comes from mastery. And most people quit because they don't see money fast enough. They weren't chasing the skill, they were chasing the payout in the first place. And if you're only chasing the payout, you'll never stick around long enough to actually get good. So don't chase numbers, chase the skill, build it, sharpen it, and the money has no choice but to follow. That's how you stop worrying about money forever.
Already gone through this time where all of a sudden your friends are cowards. You don't want to hang around them because you feel like they're dumb and they don't have the same dreams as you. There's gonna come a time in your life where your parents are just wrong. Every single piece of advice that they've given you is just meaningless. It doesn't make sense. You're gonna realize that your teachers, they're just pieces of shit that are trying to get you to become a slave just like they are. You're gonna realize that this whole world is programmed to make you a slave to the government and to the 9-to-5 rat race and to make you down here when you're supposed to be up here and you see those visions. You know you're supposed to transcend. You know you're meant for more and you're not there yet. And that time in your life, that little point, that little realization right there is gonna drive you to the moon, right? As soon as you can become conscious of the fact that you are meant for more and you have to start doing something about it, you are gonna make it. When any single person asks me, am I gonna make it? Do you think I'm gonna make it? I feel so different. I feel like I'm meant for more. Yes, the answer is yes, because you are conscious now. It's time to work and put in the action.
Successful person, including me, is cheating. I'm not even gonna pretend. We are all unethically not playing fair. None of us play by the rules, we make unlimited money. You play by the rules, you make nothing. And it will always be that way because you don't know how to cheat. There is an art to this. You gotta do it right. So listen closely because I'm about to expose everything. This is definitely gonna get deleted, so I would save this if I were you. You just need to know the concept of control. And this is true psychology, the ability to control anything. This is leagues above whatever dark psychology BS you hear on TikTok. True psychology, you can't find that shit online. If you ever wondered what it's like to have your life in easy mode, like a video game with cheats, it is through true psychology. You don't have to be smart, you don't have to spend decades learning this because true psychology is like playing The Sims. This is not psychology, this is mind control. Nothing will ever be out of your control. And that's why it is so gatekept because this is what cheating actually is. You can't fail with this. The only thing that's stopping you is that you were not given the source. That's why life is so unfair. It is almost impossible to find this shit online, but the source does exist. I should not be telling you this, but it's all in one tiny book. That's it. One tiny book that can manipulate societies. This isn't a degree or a master class. These are just spells that you can plug and play. You could take and cast. And that tiny book is called Trojan by James Lee. And that book is banned. I will try my best to find it. If I could find it, I'll have it in my bio. If you see it in my bio, you've struck gold. This book is evil. It is banned. It is actively suppressed. So if it's not in my bio, good luck. Try your best. But if you do and get a chance to read it, use it wisely, please, and read it at your own discretion. This can print money, but it can also make you into a supervillain, and you could cause some severe damage.
You can do this in your 30s, but your 20s those are your most pivotal years. If you fuck around in your 20s, you're gonna be working in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. If you take this time serious, it could like change the entire trajectory of your entire life. I can only say that because I've done it. It took me to get to 30 years old before I first ever made $1 million. And then it took me 6 months to make my second $1 million. Take my word for it or don't. First one, you need to learn sales. When I say sales, I mean like high ticket sales. You need to find somebody who has a high ticket offer or something they're selling that is super expensive, and you become the closer. You help them close deals. You are the liaison between them and the person that wants to buy. You get 10%. My top closer, he makes roughly $10,000 to $12,000 every single month, and he probably takes 4 or 5 calls a day. And mind you, he's a full-time student, and he makes $10,000 to $12,000 every single month just from me. The second one that you want to learn is AI automations, AI systems. You learn about AI and how to build systems for companies. You practically help companies and businesses or people save money by implementing AI systems into their businesses. I think something like this, it'll probably cost you $2,000 to $5,000, depending on where you get it, to learn this skill. That will probably be the best investment that you can make. Once you learn it, you'll make that back in the first fucking 3 days. And then the third one is content creation. I know everybody want to be an influencer. That's not what I mean. But you create content around a specific niche. That niche could be fitness. That niche could be hygiene. That niche could be whatever you're good at. I do think this one takes a little time before you start making actual money, but it'll probably be the most beneficial in the long haul. Because once you do build that platform, you're unstoppable. And you get to make money 3 and 4 ways. One, you get money from views. Typically not a lot unless you're big on YouTube. Second one is my absolute favorite, brand deals. Brands are paying content creators so much money. I charge $30,000 for one single post. But just starting out, you can charge $2,000 to $5,000. You could be making that every single week or every single month. And then you got ways like TikTok Shop and affiliate links. I'm seeing people bring home $50,000, $60,000 a month just from affiliate links. And to me, those are the top 3 side skills that you should be learning in your 20s and spending that time educating yourself instead of entertaining yourself so that you can be a millionaire and rich at 30. Life's great when you got $1 million or more in your 30s. It's different. Hope this video helps. Peace.
Also 15,000 square foot. I've traveled all over the place. So let's get right into it. So there are 2 areas that you need to figure out in order for you to make $1 million your income. One is the logical side that has to do with math. The other one is the emotional side that has to do with belief. We'll get into this, which is going to be some unique stuff you have not heard before. To make $1 million your income, there's so many different ways that you can break down the math to make $1 million your income. So let's go over here right now, Mario, together. Let's look at the first one. The first one is just sales. So pick any product that you want to sell. You don't have to, it can be insurance, it can be any product you're selling that's a $1,000 sale. So if your average commission is $1,000, how many personal sales do you need to make in a month to make $1 million your income? The number is $1,000 is your average commission sale. You need to make 83 sales, which is $83,000 per month. Times 12 months, you're making roughly $1 million your income. That's if you sold everything personally. Now you may be watching this and saying, Pat, there's no way in the world I can sell 83 of these a month. That's why you may need a team or a sales team. If you become a sales team, if that average sale that everybody sells is $1,000, if you're a sales manager and a broker, maybe the average commission by sales made by a rep to you is $250, which means $250 if the average sale to you is that the commission, you make your cut. You need 332 sales made by everybody to come up with $83,000 that becomes $1 million your income. So now, what you're solving for is what? 332 sales. How do you make 332 sales? Basic math. Either get 5 people that sell 66 of these products per month, either find 10 that do 33, 20 who do 16 of these, or get 40 sales reps that do 8 of these to make your $1 million your income. Do you see what I'm showing to you here? This is the mathematical formula. By the way, this is boring, but it's exciting when you get a paper and pen and you start writing out your formula. Oh my gosh, this is all I need to do, make $1 million income? That's the pure math. It's so easy to do, but this is logic. This will not get it done. I know a lot of smart, intelligent, logical people with 4-year degrees who mastered calculus, pre-calculus, who have this down, but they have problems with this next part. And by the way, this is 20% of the work. This is 80%. Let's get on to the emotion side. So here's the emotion side. On the emotion side, you have multiple different areas. Let me start off with the first one here. And this is by far the biggest challenge people have, and that is belief. In order for somebody to make this kind of money, $1 million year income, you're not going to make it if you don't believe it. So you say, well, Pat, how do I get a chance to believe this? I never, in my wildest dreams, nobody in my family made this kind of money. I've not been around people that make this kind of money. How can I make this kind of money? Here's the kicker. You need to master the art of future truth. Now, what is future truth? A lot of people have a hard time with this. Let me explain. So imagine if you have a lot of doubt. You don't believe in you, right? You're like, oh, I don't know about this. You know, this is great, but me making $1 million year income, I don't know about that. Yesterday, I had 60 people here in my office, and I said, what is the big deal about making $1 million year income? You should have seen some people's faces. Well, I don't really know if I'll ever make it, but it's kind of cool to dream about having a big house and the cars and the freedom and a few million in the bank account, but I don't know if it's for me. That's because they don't believe in it. That's because they don't understand the concept of future truth. Let me explain to you the future truth concept. Some of you may have never heard of future truth before. Here's what it is. If you're going to lie about you, you may as well tell a big lie to yourself over and over and over again. Now, at first, it's very difficult. Let me describe this to you before you get uncomfortable. For instance, I am going to make $1 million a year income. Now, I want you to say it. Say it to me real quick. Stop. Say it. I'm going to give you a second. Say it. I am going to make $1 million a year income. Say it again. Perfect. Let me ask you, was it uncomfortable? Do you feel like you're lying to yourself, right? Sometimes people say, well, Pat, that kind of was weird. I feel like I'm lying to myself. If you say, I am amazing, I'm meant to do something big with my life, I'm the guy that's going to go out there and be the hero to my family, that's difficult for some people because they're lying. But it's a current lie, but it's not a future lie. It's a future truth. It is a current lie, but it's a future truth. You see, the more you tell a big lie to yourself over and over and over and over and over again, and eventually believe it, future truth is you're going to make $1 million year income. This is a belief system that is very difficult for most people to do because most people think every kind of lie is a bad lie. No, I'm not telling you to go lie to your wife about some things you're doing on the side or lie to your husband about what you're doing on the side. I'm telling you, tell a good lie. I'm going to make a difference in the world. And you don't believe it. But say it 1,000,000 times. You're going to end up believing it. I'm meant to do something special in my life. There's no way in the world God put me on this planet to just be a regular guy. No way. The blood in here is boiling. I want to do something big with my life. This guy was put on this planet to make a difference. Say it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Convince everybody in the world. The entire time you're just trying to convince one person, and that is you. And that's the game of future truth. And for some of you that are maybe making $4,000 a month for the last 20 years, you really need to start lying to yourself. I'm talking to you. You really need to start this moment, start telling a lie to yourself on how special of a human being you are. Over, and don't expect anybody else to do it. For instance, when you say, honey, I wish you would have told me more nicer things. Mom, how come you don't tell me nicer things? Dad, how come you don't tell me nicer things? Don't wait on them. Start with you. Question everything. Everything. When your mom and dad say something, and it doesn't make any sense, like, you know, it's hard to, not everybody's going to make millions. Honey, it's not us to make millions. Don't sit there and let them say it. Stop them. Listen, Mom, I don't believe you. Dad, I don't want to believe you. Bro, I don't want to believe you. Dude, I'm not with you. I don't want to buy into that concept. Say it to them. Question them. Challenge them. Don't let them get away with it by saying it around you, because if you sit there and you don't question that thing, that means you bought into it. That means you believed it. You got to question the stuff you tell yourself. Stop yourself. Wait a minute. Is that even true? I don't believe you. You to yourself, I don't believe what you're saying, bro. I don't want to believe you. I'm not buying what you just said right now. Question every single thing. Why do I believe this way? Why do I think this way? Why am I wired this way? Is that thinking even right? Why do I even do this? We had a meeting last week with my staff. This is a different meeting than yesterday. Yesterday's was sales. Last week's was staff. And one of our employees, they were required, every one of them was required to read the book Principle. And if they didn't read it, some of them were going to get fired. And, you know, we had the meeting. So I was speaking about this. And one lady said, well, you know, in this book, what I took away from this book was the fact that I think sometimes in companies, the executives need to understand that everybody's different. And not everybody, you know, does this and does that. I said, ma'am, stop. I said, did you even read the book? No, I didn't read the book. I said, why is it that the first thing you got out of the book is how you can fix everybody around you instead of how you can fix you? You see, the only way your income's going to grow is by focusing all the things that you got to do on you to improve. If you fix you, everybody else around you is going to be fine. But you got to fix you. And I asked the following question. I said, here's a question for you. I said, what's the most money you've ever made in a year? Don't say it publicly. Just think about that number. What is the most money you ever made in a year? Then I said, go back 10 years ago. How much has that income changed and why? Why? Why has that income not changed that much? If 10 years ago you were making 16 bucks an hour, 10 years later you're making 16 bucks an hour, why is that? Why is your market, value in the marketplace the same thing? Is it everybody's fault? Is it the government's fault? Is it your boss's fault, your parents' fault, your kids' fault, your spouse's fault, or your fault? Everything here comes back to you. And it's so hard to do, but you got to face the truth. You ain't going to make $1 million your income. You don't face the truth and realize the issue's right here. And the last item to cover over here, to my left, to your right, is guaranteed formula for success. That is 100% proven for my life and other people I've taught. Outwork, outimprove, outlast, and outstrategize. What you're looking on the screen here, on the screen, look at those 4 again. What you're looking on the screen here, which of those 4 things that you're looking at, the outwork, outimprove, outlast, outstrategize, which of those 4 things do you think comes last? Meaning you'll learn the latest. It's out-strategize. Why? Because that requires a lot of experience. However, the other 3, outwork. If a guy works 80 hours a week and you work 40 hours a week, you can't compete with that guy. If you yourself are reading 2, 3, 4 books a month and you're developing your mind and your competitor is not, and he only reads 1 or 2, and you study in industry articles and all this other stuff, and they're not, you're studying how to recruit CEOs, CFOs, COOs, CMOs. What is the best way to stretch this $1 million investment that I got to make this happen? Who should I talk to be part of a group for mentors and CEOs group and all these? Who should I network with? What community should I be a part of? Who's the best engineers, IT firm to hire? What are these competitors doing? What are some of the guys that are not even in my market? If you start studying those industries, somebody else isn't. It's tough to compete with you. And then outlast. Some people work 80 hours a week for a year, and that's great. But they can't work